A wannabe gangster realizes he's going to jail. Ooh.
Gangsters are supposed to be seen as tough thugs with little regard for the law. But what happens when fake gangsters are faced with real prison time? These are three never-before-seen examples of when wannabe gangsters realizing they'll be serving prison time.
Demetrius
Starting with
Cox.
the case of 18-year-old Conrad Troja, who in September of 2010 was leaving school when he was approached by a man holding a handgun. Conrad was ordered to take off his bag and hand it over, but when he refused, he was shot in the chest by the man. Miraculously, Conrad managed to stumble away from the scene and call for help before collapsing and dying on the spot.
What
The suspect fled immediately, but was later identified as Edtavion Wilcox, who was brought in for attempted murder. But as it turns out, he wasn't all that tough in the interrogation room.
Alright, here's the deal. You know something else happened. I don't sit here and talk to you without knowing what the deal is, alright? We've been talking to people.
He's gonna
we've been
cry
interviewing
after he
people,
just
we've been
killed
showing people
somebody.
pictures, we've been looking at video. I didn't bring you up here because you weren't wearing your seatbelt, okay? You got arrested for a burglary before and they didn't even bring you up here. Obviously, it's something a little more serious.
Wilcox is trying to remain calm and pretend as though he's got no idea what this is all about. Little does he know, his getaway driver had also been apprehended and confessed to everything. Now the detective just has to find a way to get him to confess as well.
This is gonna go one of two ways. You're either gonna be a guy who made a mistake, hanging around the wrong place, the wrong time, did something dumb, or you're gonna be a guy that goes out and likes to shoot people for fun, okay? Listen, and before you say anything, I think you're a guy that made a mistake. I know you were there, okay? I know what happened.
That's what they always say to get them to confess, but it doesn't matter.
Photo lineup and said that's the guy that shot me. Okay. Here's the deal. I don't think you shot that guy because you're a bad person. You didn't mean to kill that guy. Okay. What happened was you were just trying to snatch his backpack. He started fighting with you, and you got scared.
So y'all saying I shot somebody?
I know you shot somebody.
So y'all
Imagine
saying
you're
I
an
shot
18-year-old
somebody?
kid
Come
who
on.
got in over their head and ended up shooting and killing an innocent civilian. No matter who you are, you'll be feeling scared. A feeling that'll only be amplified when a police officer asserts that they know exactly what happened. Wilcox will be feeling rattled now. As the cop talks, he's slumped over in his chair, implying he's interested in what the cop is saying, and as soon as he's allowed to talk, all his responses sound confused and even bewildered. The cop knows he has him on the back foot. Now he just needs to close it out.
You're 18, right? You're
You'll
18.
come out at 50.
Yes? This is where you need to stand up and be a man and admit you made a mistake. I know you weren't trying to kill that guy. I know that because you're not the kind of guy that does that.
I mean, how do you know that? He
literally
is the kind of guy who just shot a man, bro. But he's gonna tell him this, so he just confesses.
Your head. The victim's making you out to be a stone cold, just straight up
The
thug killer.
victim.
Guy that doesn't give a about anybody else. All right.
I could have stayed big late.
Victim's dead, bro.
If you keep going down the path you're going down, telling me you didn't have anything to do with it, it's not you, who are people going to believe? Are they going to believe you or are they going to believe the victim? They're going to have to believe the victim because you didn't give me your side of the story.
Wilcox is being pushed into a corner. The detective is using the facts that he knows Wilcox is just in over his head, but is using language in such a way that makes him feel like he's accused of being this cold-blooded monster.
Bro,
his reactions to this prove just how well this technique is working. He stares at the ground implying shame and rubs his head in a pacifying behavior that shows how stressed he is.
A guy that sits there like you is not a guy that goes around and kills people. You understand what I'm saying? You have remorse. You're sorry. I can see it on you. You just need to take that next step.
Oh no,
what
so he
happened
does
in
know.
that parking
He
lot?
does know.
Did
He
you
does
guys
know.
plan it? Or did it just happen?
Oof. Oof.
Huh? I can't. What'd you say?
Ain't trying to go back to jail.
Don't.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. It's a good thing I'm not a cop, man. It really is a good thing I'm not a cop, because if that guy just shot somebody cold-blooded, okay, and then he's saying I can't go back, I would say, okay. Bang! Eye for an eye, bitch. That's me, bro. That's my energy. Like, that's my energy. You say you can't go back? Okay, bro, you can't go back. Bang! Bye-bye. Legit, bro. You kill somebody, you die.
That's the least of your concerns right now.
In a breakdown that's far from gangster, Wilcox starts to cry. and
Like, what the
laments
fuck?
on how he absolutely can't go back to jail.
You
The
killed the
detective
man, now
uses
you're
this moment of
crying.
vulnerability
You're
to
the
press him
victim, fuck
further
off.
and tells him he
I'll
has
make you the
one
victim.
last opportunity to be honest and let everybody know that he isn't the monster
It's a
they
good thing
think
I'm not a
he
cop,
is.
bro.
Do you say
I
stop
would
hitting me or
have
I'm
put to
gonna
jail
shoot you?
quickly.
Anything like that?
I was like, I had my hand like right here.
No, you had your left hand like up against him,
Yeah.
trying to push him away.
I was trying to make him stop hitting me.
Where was the gun?
Oh, he was hitting you.
Which pocket?
Oh, in the pocket.
How many times did you shoot? What happened after you pulled the trigger? Did he fall down or
No,
was he still standing up? Where'd you hit him?
I didn't even know I hit him.
Okay. So you fired that one round. What happened?
It froze up.
You just froze
He
up?
And
froze
just
up.
like that, Octavian Wilcox confessed to shooting Conrad Tohan and was sentenced to life in prison, all
Yeah.
over a school bag. But while he'll be
Fucking
spending the rest of his life in prison, Demetrius
Fucking
Cox wasn't so lucky. Throughout the beginning of 2020, a war between rival gangs 438 and AF-NF began to break out.
Christ.
Many shootings were reported with dozens of deaths
Dude.
attributed to just these
Imagine that, dude. Imagine that, dude. Like, what the fuck? Right? You're born, you have good parents, your parents try to take care of you, you have your cousin, your grandma, your favorite cousin, your other favorite cousin, your hot cousin, right? You have a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a grandfather, all of these people. You have friends, you have a life, you're doing things for yourself. You're like, man, I'm doing good. You got your nice backpack. Dude. You're hanging out with your friends. You're like, dude, fucking finally I got a cool backpack, you know? And like, you're going to school, and then a guy says, yo, give me your backpack. And you're like, bro, I just bought this. What the fuck? He attacks you, you hit him, and then you get shot and you die. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? Come on. Life just ended like that? All that potential?
two gangs, with one of these occurring on the 14th of April. Shots were fired at a house party in Davenport, Florida, resulting in the death of 20-year-old Wolf Luma. The killer was identified almost immediately as Demetrius Cox, also 20 years old. 2 weeks later, Cox was brought in on the
This
suspicion
motherfucker
of
has
murder,
no neck.
and an interrogation began, ending in one of the most shocking moments in interrogation history.
Dang, dude.
Sure, I do.
You can say Mary?
I can. And I didn't shake your hand before because we weren't able to, but now we can.
Wait, is he the
Number one, I gotta
football
tell you,
player
I'm
with like the
pretty
big neck?
impressed of the way the just overall your persona as it is.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate the respect. It's gonna be given right back to you, okay?
Okay.
Cox starts the interrogation out respectfully, but as the interview continues, he starts to annoy the detective by withholding information that could get members of his gang into trouble. This type of loyalty is extremely common in these types of cases, but can prove to work against you, as
Yeah.
is seen just a few minutes later.
I'm not saying you went there for the wrong reasons. However, man, I tell you one thing. You know how they say like victims, and suspects, things like that? I thought that you were a victim.
Sure I am, but now y'all make it like I'm a suspect.
No. I
It's
thought you were a
crazy.
victim. I thought you were a victim, and I thought that you were gonna give us the justification, the explanation for what happened.
Listen.
But you come in here and you can't even with little details like that. Like, who cares? If Papa Jay's there, why can't you just be honest and say, yeah, he was there. He was chilling.
We hung out.
So,
But,
so
but I got another question
what's
for you.
so like hard about the truth?
Dude,
What's
he killed the
interesting
man,
about this case,
and
though,
he's
is
so...
that the cop actually isn't 100% sure that Cox is the killer. As Cox mentions earlier, most of the evidence in the case
He's
is
so
hearsay, and detectives could have a
nonchalant.
hard time using it in court. This is why Cox is here in the first place. If they could extract a confession, it'd make their lives a whole lot easier, but Cox isn't budging.
Okay, listen. If you want to tell me what
No,
happened,
I'm pretty sure it's different. I'm pretty sure there's snitches and then there's rats, right? Like, whatever you do on the outside is like, alright, you get into a fight and whatever. But if you rat on the people on the inside, now you get stabbed. Now you die. Right? Because they understand that nobody wants to be in jail. Nobody wants to be in jail, so a lot of people do, like, snitch, right? A lot of people do say what happened in the past to get less jail time. And they still get accepted by the gangs, right? Like, they still get accepted by the gangs. However, If you snitch on the gang, on the inside, yeah, you get stabbed. You get stabbed.
Years, man.
I just tried to tell you what happened when we watched.
Look at me in my face.
I'm pretty sure that's how it happens.
If you tell me
That's how it works.
truth,
Don't ask me
I
how.
will believe you. But there's an explanation for what happened.
So you trying to say I'm the explanation or something? That's what I'm asking.
It's like you're hearing me, but you're not listening to me. Listen to
I'm
me.
listening to you, but you're not letting me. You gotta break it down for me. Please just break it down.
Listen to me. Okay.
Listen.
I think that you might have been a victim. But I cannot believe a victim when they leave little things out, little details about that night.
Well,
Okay?
Mister, I told you all I know.
Some bad happened, man. Some bad.
I understand what
And
you're
I don't
saying.
think that you forced it. I don't think that you or your buddies or anybody else, well, maybe you're running your mouth a little bit, but it wasn't justified what happened.
Ah!
Eventually, the detective decides that he's not going to get anything else out of Cox and calls off the interrogation. But that's not where the case ends. In fact, the most interesting but
I'll see
tragic
you in
part
prison.
happened just hours after the
Yeah, if I ever
interrogation
go to
was
prison,
held.
I'm a woman.
Later that day, Cox was released on bail, but 11 hours later, he was shot and killed by another gang member. Meaning, if he had actually confessed, he just might have spared his own life, even if it was spending that life in prison. But while Cox may have kept it together in his interrogation and preserved his gangster image, the same cannot be said for Cody Forencam, a gangster whose crime was littered with errors and
Bro, he
stupidity from the
didn't
very
even
start.
snitch.
After his phone was stolen at a convenience store,
Dude,
Cody went on
he
a
didn't even
tyrannical
snitch
rampage
and he
around his
died.
area looking for any signs of the stolen device. Surveillance footage captured him walking past 15-year-old Deshaun Hills, pulling a gun from his backpack and firing 3 shots at the boy,
no.
killing him instantly.
Dude.
Witnesses and surveillance footage helped police identify Cody almost immediately, and he was quickly brought in for interrogation.
Like I said, I ain't.
He got shot by another
What I
gang
just did
member.
was the people yesterday. These motherfuckers was able to do this to me. They was able to look at.
Okay. I'll take a look at this in a second.
I'm saying, look how they do me.
Okay.
Look how they do me. They just kicked my mom's door open, man.
Well, they didn't kick your mom's door open.
Yeah,
Bro,
they
is
did,
this
man.
bone
I was
collector?
on the phone, man. With
Or whatever his
why
name
it
is?
happened, man.
We were there.
Bill
we were
collector.
there at your
Come on, man.
We-
I said, like I said, man. I ain't about that.
When your
I don't
time was
gang
running
bang.
out, nah,
I don't
nah,
do-
nah.
You know what I mean? I ain't with the guns.
Cody here is referring
have
to a
him.
search warrant that was used by police to gain access to his mother's house and collect evidence.
Bro, he talks
While
like the
his
bill
anger
collector.
about this is likely from a place of truth, he's also using it as a way to try and argue his innocence. This is also backed up by the fact that he immediately tells the cop that he has nothing to do with gang activity or guns. But it won't take long for this facade to fall
Good
apart.
one, bro.
We're here because you're involved with this murder. You've told people. You've told people. That's why you're here. That's why you're not in
Told
Minneapolis.
people.
Okay? We have talked to people, all right,
Man, check it out.
that have put you there at the scene. There's video of you at the scene
Oh.
the whole time. Okay, we know why you're there.
I ain't lying, bro.
You're not buying it. I'm not here to
You know
lie
what
to
he gonna
though.
say?
Why-
You
why
know what
would
he
I
gonna
lie?
say? You know what you say right there, boys? This is what you say. Nah, fam. It wasn't me. You know what? I think I got an evil twin. I think there's an evil twin, motherfucker. No, nah. He looking, bro. He crawling in the streets. He crawling in the streets. And then this is what you do, right? First, when you're about 10 years old, you create a different language with your best friend. Your best friend has to look similar to you. Okay? But this is what you do. Right? You got a best friend at the age of 10. You create your own language. So you can communicate whilst using the English language, right? And you guys look alike, and you tell him, bro, listen, if I ever go to jail, or if you ever go to jail, the other one of us is gonna impersonate the other, and is gonna do crime, so that the cops see, right, that I'm actually telling you the truth, and that it wasn't me. And that's how you get out of any crime. You prepare. Boys, it's always better to prepare early on in life. Set yourself up for success, boys. Remember that. Hey, mini Dumby lesson number 1. Set yourself up for success in life. See, that's what happens. You both go in. Nah, Johnny, that's where you get it wrong. That's where you got it twisted. Because they think it's you. They think it's you, but then they see a guy that looks like you doing crime. Right? And then they, you know what? I'm sorry, bro. It wasn't you. And then they go for the other guy. Right? And they grab him. And they grab him because they think it's him. Now you do the crime. And now they let your friend out and they go, hey, sorry, bro, we thought it was you. And now you're in. And now your friend does the crime. And now they let you go and they go, hey, I'm sorry, bro, we thought it was you. It's infinite, bro. It's an infinite glitch. I'm such a fucking genius. That's what you do, boys. That's what you do.
I ain't buying.
You're on video. Okay,
boys,
people are talking to you.
Use your mind. Holy fuck.
Okay.
I'm actually unbelievably smart.
On the evening of the murder, Cody
ridiculously
had been walking
smart.
around the area asking people if they saw the person that took his phone and aggressively confronting people that he suspected. He was also clearly seen on surveillance footage at multiple stores and businesses in the Minneapolis area, so any arguments he has here that he was elsewhere are completely invalid.
I'm a genius.
Cody, all we're trying to do.
Oh, bro, that never
Here's
catches
the-
me.
Lance, can I just say something? If I was sitting in your chair and I had.
Dude, I got mercy, dude.
Hold on a
I
second.
got mercy, dude. Look,
Hold on.
look
He
at
got
this.
mercy,
Look
bro.
at this shit.
Sit down.
No, look at it, look at it, bro.
It's crazy. So, hey,
Sit
really,
down for what?
I don't even want, like,
Here's
I'm
the one
so
thing.
fucking mad.
He got mercy,
Hold on.
bro.
Fucking mad right now. No, I was supposed to. I was supposed to.
Bro, look at me. Bro, look at me. Bro, look at me. I'm a mercy main. I got a tattoo of mercy, bro. I've never shot anybody because I'm a fucking loser who only plays mercy in Overwatch 2, bro. Look. Look, bro. Look, bro. I pretend to be a woman in Overwatch 2 so that actually good players carry me, bro. I can't shoot a gun. I don't know how to shoot a gun, bro. See, that's a better, stronger defense than what he just did. I'm way too smart.
ERG. Ooh.
Yo, hold on. You play Overwatch 2? Yeah, bro, look, I'm a mercy main. Come on, dog. And then the cop says, you know what, we got the wrong guy.
Yeah, y'all started talking about some goofy shit that I don't
Goofy.
know.
It's a
goofy,
murder.
bro.
It's a murder.
Some goofy shit. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't
goofy.
never.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say, just before we go, okay? Was that if I was sitting in your chair and I had two people asking me where I was on a specific day, and they're saying that I did a
That's what
murder.
Durfee did with me just yesterday.
I'm not talking about Durfee.
I'm saying,
Durfee,
if you
bro.
ask me what I ate for dinner, I'm like,
Oh, no. Yeah,
also take a
don't
look at
remember
Cody's
either,
language
bro.
and demeanor
Mimi,
in
what do you
general.
eat for
Right
dinner?
from the
I don't
start,
know,
he's
bro.
been
How about you
defensive
ask your
and
mother?
attempting to combat every single thing the detectives have said to him. Instead of respectfully listening to their points and trying to give counters to the cops' evidence, he either talks over them or just says, I don't believe you, and fails to give any evidence in his defense. If Cody was innocent, he'd likely be doing everything he can to stay on the cops' good side and help them out by providing evidence that would acquit him. And as it turns out,
What did this guy just say? Is this guy a cop? Plant. Did this guy just say if he was innocent, he'd just cooperate with police? Dr. Insanity, are you a cop? Huh? Is this guy a cop? Because honestly, if you cooperate with police without an attorney, you're a retard. You're not innocent. You're an imbecile. Bro, this Dr. Insanity guy, what a fad.
he was about to start providing evidence. Evidence that would send him
Bro,
straight
no,
to jail.
if you're
Oh, you would have Wally's and boo.
if you're innocent, get a fucking attorney, bro. If you did it, get an attorney, bro. Always get an attorney.
You were by Wally's,
I
absolutely.
was by Wally's.
You were?
But y'all don't know the motherfucking story.
Well, tell me.
The motherfucker supposed to be in the motherfucking face, stole my phone, all that stupid shit. That don't mean I pulled the motherfucking trigger. Just because some people say some shit, that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
So y'all gonna go with the you here anyway. I was over at the store, and I got fucking my. That's what that
Oh,
was.
he got
Who
mugged.
jumped you?
I don't, like I said, I
Yo,
don't know.
Mom,
That don't
bro.
make me no murder.
When-
I called my big cousin. My big cousin come get me. He, what it
Yo,
look like?
Mom,
I said,
bro.
one was, I don't, Nothing came of it. You act like can I pull the trigger on somebody?
When did you get jumped, or when did you get your stuff
Yo!
out? Cody, so somebody
Yo! Yo, Post Malone, calm down, buddy.
jumped you for your phone, right?
Dude, this is what happened to Post after, you know, he started drinking too many beers. Sad life, Post.
Did they get anything else from you? Or did you have money? Did you have
ID?
Nah, they didn't get out anything off me, bro. I shot him. Man, check it out. They mugged me, but they couldn't get me because I shot him.
In an outburst of more anger,
out,
Cody has just put himself right next to the scene of the crime and given the officers a motive for the murder.
Yeah,
For the
bro, I
next
got
4
jumped.
minutes, Cody scrambled to get himself out of the hole he just dug himself into. But it was already too late. With the evidence they already had, plus what essentially amounted to a full confession, Cody was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 38 years behind bars.
Oh, bro, that's what happened to Post.
Out of the hole.
This is why he's not posting any new music. Post, come on, bro. You can get some producers in jail. Start going. I don't wanna hurt her. I used to be a rock star. Come on, Posty. You can do it. I believe. When a fake cop realizes they've been caught.
Cops are supposed to be here to protect us. But what happens when...
Oh, yeah, this guy is such a cop. Fucking, bro, he's a cop dick sucker. Holy.
Criminals pretend to be the cops to abuse their power. In this video, we'll cover 3 examples of this, starting with Jackson Jones.
Wait, hold on, let me see this.
Power. Protect
Bang,
us.
again.
What happens when criminals pretend to be the cops to abuse their power? In this video, we'll cover 3 when criminals pretend to be the cops to abuse their power.
That was the weakest slap I've ever seen. What the
to
fuck?
Protect us. But what happens when criminals pretend to be the cops to abuse their power?
I mean, bro, if you're gonna slap somebody like this, don't even slap them. Like, what are you doing? Look at the,
Here to protect us. But what happens when criminals pretend to be the cops to abuse?
Look at him. He goes.
Their power.
Shut up, bitch. Bro, she's gonna look at you and say, please go harder, bro. What the fuck?
To protect us.
Oh,
but what happens when criminals pretend to be the cops to abuse their power? In this video, we'll...
Yo, was that the wind? What the
cover
fuck?
3 examples of this,
Oh,
starting with Jackson Jones, who was pulled over after cops received reports of a strange police officer aggressively questioning random people around town.
He's an influencer. He's an influencer.
I don't even have to run. Okay. I'm 19 years old. If this is gonna cause problems, the truck's over there. I'm just gonna take out the vest, and I'm from Tennessee. So,
why are you wearing the vest?
Well, like I said, I drove from all the way from Tennessee.
Jones says he's from Tennessee, over 500 kilometers away from...
I think this guy's a little slow. I saw his face. I know a slow motherfucker when I see one. He's a little slow. I don't think he's evil. I think he's just, you know, he's from Tennessee, bro. You know what I mean? It's not his fault, bro. It's not his fault, bro.
From where he was pulled over in Oklahoma. So it's strange that he's still got on all his police gear, especially given he's off duty, and the cops think so too.
Why do you wear a vest outside of the facility? Is this an agency vehicle, or is this your personal vehicle?
This is my Kia.
It's just a little odd, because whenever I worked in the jail, I took my crap off, especially if I was taking a long drive from Tennessee. You got any kind of employment identification?
Dude, they don't give me that when you work at the jail.
Really?
What?
You don't have like an access card or an ID badge or anything for the facility that you work at?
I don't.
When Jones fails to produce any form of certification that proves he works in law enforcement, the cops start to get extremely suspicious. Not only was he wearing a police uniform, but he was also...
Bro, you know what he should have said? Hey, man. I'm an influencer. I was trying to make videos. I honestly didn't realize what I was doing. I'm so sorry. I will take this off and I'm never doing this again. I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. Now that I see you guys, I realize what I have done. That's what it should have. Like, honestly, dude, legitimately, I think if he just went, you know, guys, I fucked up, they would have let him go. Conversely, he should have said, I'm undercover, you're gonna expose me. And right away, and then, you know, crash and probably die.
Also pulling civilians over and aggressively questioning them. The cops know something is up with this guy.
Sure you don't have a gun with you?
Pulling civilians over and aggressively questioning them. The cops know something is up with this guy. They just need to figure out what he's doing and, more importantly, why.
And you don't have a gun with you or anything like that?
He wants to be a clown.
You can search the car. You don't mind if I search the car?
He should have said, officer, you know what, I always wanted to be a cop when I was a child. I tried to get in, I couldn't make it. I'm so sorry. Oh my god,
the vehicle, I can just check you for,
oh my god,
make sure you don't have any guns or nothing.
As Jones steps out of the car, we can see that he is in full police uniform, complete with handcuffs. Even if Jones was a jail worker in Tennessee, as he claims,
why does he
doesn't have jurisdiction to arrest people in public. All the signs point to something being seriously...
Oh, it's his mind. See, the problem is this kid was raised on Hero Wars, okay? So his parents didn't love him, they just gave him an iPad, and they gave him Hero Wars to play. So his mind is not fully developed. You feel me? That's what happened.
Wrong here. So, given he's been granted permission by Jones, the officer decides to conduct a full search of the vehicle.
We'll just check everything out. If everything's good, then we'll go on.
Bro, is he just like gonna leave? Oh
One
my
empty
god.
bottle, one partially missing bottle, and then 2 more to go, and it was a pack of 6. Just all kinds
Let
of
the
red
man
flags,
role
man.
play,
I
bro.
would not drive from Tennessee with a
Let
vest
him
carrier
role
on,
play, bro.
or even a duty belt on.
As soon as I get off, I take that shit off.
He's role
I'm not even
playing.
in it.
I hate driving from Topgolf to my house with this shit on.
The officer took Jones to his patrol vehicle
He's
while he finished off the
role-playing.
search,
Let him
and
role-play.
Jones would take this opportunity to further prove how delusional he really is.
Why don't we go and have a seat in my Tahoe? I'll have a seat in my Tahoe. Passenger seat? No, back seat.
Asking whether he
Passenger
can sit in the front seat seems to prove that he fully believes these cops are nothing but his friends and co-workers, backed
this
up by the
guy.
fact that he's wearing a thin blue line hoodie,
W.
a sort of cop pride symbol
W.
that shows how connected Jones feels to his position in
W.
law enforcement. But then the officer's asked to talk to his supervisor, something that would easily confirm whether or not Jones is who he says he is. But it doesn't go quite as expected.
Where'd you get the vest carrier from? Did you order it online?
No,
From a friend, or
I didn't get it off.
bought it at a store?
It's a police store up there in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh,
You
okay.
can only be law enforcement to get it. I bought it like 4 months ago. You can take all this stuff from me and keep me out of jail.
Okay.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, I bought all that stuff. None of that stuff was given to the county.
Give me your phone back.
Like I said, I'm not going to see DPS.
All right. Cool. 423-494.
There's no supervisor, bro.
Yes,
it's
this
his
is definitely
dad.
Mike Hansen with the Oklahoma
It's his
County
dad.
Sheriff's Office. I'm out on a individual saying he works for Campbell County
Yes, he does.
Sheriff's Office.
Yes, he does. I'm his
By the
dad.
name of Jackson Jones. You'll give me a call back, 405-869.
Bro, thank
So it went to a voicemail. So that's like not an official work number.
The number that Jones gave was fake, or at least not belonging to an official police department. Jones was either hoping
Bro.
that they'd give him the benefit of the doubt when it hit voice.
Imagine if he's so smart that he gives them another, right? He gives them a phone that he has somewhere else and it goes to voicemail. And then, right, when he posts bail, he goes, "Oh, howdy there. Yes, yes. Oh, he's a great old child. Yeah. You know, he's a little crazy. Yeah, he loves being a cop. Yeah, I just came back from Mexico. Cancun with the family. Yes. Mamacitas. Jim, stop! Oh shit! I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, yes, he works for me. He's a little crazy, but we're training him. He's a good kid, but it's actually him. That's what I would do.
Voicemail,
That's what I would
or that he could convince someone to call them back and pretend to be his supervisor. Either way, it didn't work, and the final nail in the coffin was when the witness he pulled over turned up to the scene and completely exposed his story.
He was dressed like a cop. They had sheriff written on the side right here. He was sitting in a driveway, and I started about 10 minutes of staring at him, and I'm like, who the heck is this guy? It's kind of odd. He's in our neighbor's driveway. He gets out, and I said, can I help you, sir? He's like, well, I was wondering what was your problem? You were staring at me over in the driveway. And I said, yeah, I was kind of curious who you was. I lived down the road. I was kind of see what was going on. He goes, I'm a undercover cop.
You're not an undercover.
I got a call. I gotta let you go. And then he left. And then when he left, he came towards the turnpike bridge. And
he's crazy, bro. How are you gonna be an undercover cop with a cop outfit? Come on.
Yui, and was trying to pull another car. He started flashing his lights at him.
He's all slow.
And I didn't know if they pulled over or not, but he was flashing his lights like he was trying to pull him over.
Not only did the witness attest that Jones seemed to be unlawfully pulling over anybody that came into view, but he also told the officer that Jones claimed to be an officer out of Wellston, a town in Oklahoma, a far cry from Knoxville, where he told the cops he worked. As far as the officers were concerned, that was reason enough to bring him in, and they immediately went back to the control vehicle to arrest him.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to jail.
Alright. Turn around and face the other way. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for impersonating law enforcement, alright? And then you also have a charge for transporting an open container.
The penalty for impersonating a police officer is between 1 and 3 years jail time, and he'll likely be facing a small fine from the open container charge as well. But most importantly, Jones is now off the street. The only reason someone like him would ever impersonate a police officer is simply because they enjoy the position of power and authority it gives them. If someone is willing to lie in such a brazen way to obtain that power, who knows what they're willing to do with that power.
He's not a
And
killer.
that
He's
was
just a little
exactly the
slow.
problem police found with Daniel Nelson.
That guy's a little
Police found
slow.
him next to a fully outfitted vehicle that heavily resembled a cop car, complete with lights and emblems
this
claiming that it was
motherfucker.
in fact a local police vehicle.
Oh,
Nelson
this
claims that he patrols as a police officer for a church, helping out homeless people by checking on them and ensuring they're not in danger. But the cops felt as though something was off.
Then I walked
This guy's he gave me his card, but see if you can try to grab a VIN on it for me while I'm talking to him. He works for a church. There's no plate on it. I just noticed. I mean, I noticed before after he talked to me that there was no plate on it.
How can
He's
you
got
be
a
a
dog in there,
cop
just be
for
aware.
a
If
church?
y'all here, something happened.
Oh, I'm
That's
here
what
on
I
a
said.
separate entity. I'm not a part of that.
Oh, but something happened because you say it's a dude.
Yeah, I'm here for something else. But
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
they're their own.
Nelson says that he was called out to look for a homeless person that was possibly in crisis. But after talking to the guy, he decides that everything's fine and heads out. But before he goes, the cop asks for his
man,
date of
how's it
birth,
going?
claiming they just want his information to take down for their list of local officers, not from the official police department. In reality,
Eli,
though,
tomorrow
the
I'm gonna
cops
do one of
used
my
his name
legendary
and date of
watchings.
birth to run his information and find his address
tell
so
you
they could
later.
investigate further the next day.
Oh, bro, he was the homeless guy. Are you gonna shoot the fucking dog?
Hang over here, I'm gonna check.
Kind of what cops do.
I could hear him in there talking to his dogs.
He's got.
Despite the fact that nobody answered the door, the fake police car was outside the house, the dogs were home, and they could hear him inside talking to the dogs. Above all that, it was 6 in the morning. The cops were almost 100% certain Nelson was inside, but refused to answer to the cops. However, the police definitely didn't expect what happened next.
Yeah,
Later that day,
comes out running.
Nelson turned himself in at the police station.
Why?
If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop the questioning and remain silent at any time you wish, and the right to ask for it, have a lawyer at any time you wish, including during the questioning. Do you understand each of these rights? Say yes. Yes.
What followed was a 20-minute interrogation where Nelson seemed completely delusional. At no point did he ever seem to accept that what he was doing was against the law, and whenever he was met with an issue, he responded by saying he was a man of God and working in his name.
Never once in 10 years have I associated myself with being a police officer. It's never changed. Never.
I'm just telling you, our witness says you did it at least twice.
Twice?
You identified yourself as a police officer twice while you were talking to him. He said you identified yourself, and that's the only reason he stopped to speak with you. He said he felt it was odd that you would stop him while walking.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, but why would you stop to talk to somebody at 3 in the morning?
Because he matched the description of somebody I was meeting. Backpack, same very thing I told you.
Wait,
Yeah,
why
you
were you
told me it was a
meeting
white
somebody at 3 in
subject
the
that was
morning?
your...
Hold on.
I've never once in my entire career of doing this for a decade, devoted to God, have ever made that statement.
Okay.
This is the story Nelson maintained throughout the entire interrogation.
He's an average
that he's
John
worked for
Zirko.
God
Enjoy
and the
it.
church, and he's just there to help people. But obviously, with the witness statement and patrol vehicle rigged with sirens and lights, the police weren't believing a word. But that raises a different question. If Nelson wasn't out there trying to protect these people at 3 a.m., what was he doing talking to them? It's probably for the best that he'll be spending at least a year behind bars in the Wisconsin State Prison. These last two suspects have been so caught up in their fantasies that they impersonated officers with absolutely no prior experience as one. But the case is different for Jaredson Mackey, a man that had been fired from the force but took matters into his own hands.
Oh, he's got lights. Why has he got the lights?
Hey, partner. Hi. Hey, I'm Officer Park with the Akron Police Department.
How are you?
The only reason why I'm pulling you over, I guess y'all were, well, that's my chief of police right there. He saw y'all go around traffic. He was trying to figure out who y'all are with or what was going on.
The cops had seen Mackey flash his lights and go around traffic, something that real cops aren't allowed to do, let alone those in suspicious-looking vehicles that aren't even registered with the police force.
Yeah, I'm an off-duty hero operator.
Oh, off-duty hero operator?
How you doing, Chief? Hey. I'm an off-duty operator. I just working off Springer League Hill. That's my ID. That's my badge.
Why is the car registered to an individual?
That's mine. This is my car.
So what are you doing with all these red lights?
Sorry?
Why all this emergency lights? And did I see you using emergency lights to pull out into traffic on Lake Eckworth Drive?
Oh, no, because I couldn't get through, Chief. You notice? That's a standstill. So I flashed the lights so people could see me that I was trying to get in the line.
Who do you work for?
This is my company. I'm an off-duty hero operator. This is my company.
So like me, you're impersonating a police officer.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not impersonating, sir.
Mackey claims that he's an off-duty hero, or highway emergency response operator, whose job is to clear the roads and ensure normal traffic flow is restored around accidents. However, his vehicle should be registered to the Georgia Department of Transportation instead of himself, so red flags are immediately raised to the police chief, especially when he hears...
Hold on. You guys aren't seeing this. Why is this guy blurring out his dick? You got a piece on him, or what? Look at this. It's blurred out.
He was weaving through traffic
Yo,
while
old
off
man.
duty.
Old man.
Yes, sir. We look in the front. We look in the front. Yes, I see red lights. I saw red lights when you pulled out.
Yeah, that's it. That's when it activated to the back.
Yeah. Where's your ID?
Right, yes, Chief. Yeah.
Do you have a lighting permit for the vehicle?
Yeah, right down the glass.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Be right back with you, okay? There's your ID back.
Thank you.
Look, given with all the lighting permit and stuff that I'm seeing, I'm just going to assume everything's properly permitted and stuff for the vehicle.
It is, sir.
That said, with what my chief's observation, you know, the use of those are for strictly business purposes. You can't be using it to pull in the traffic, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I am going to issue a citation for unlawful operation for emergency vehicle, okay?
I want to verify your employment, and I'm probably going to have CID look into this, to be honest with you, to see what you're doing.
I know, Chief.
I don't feel good.
Chief.
Chief,
I can show you my LLC. I can show you my LLC right now.
I'll let them handle it.
Mackey was given a citation for unlawful operation of an emergency vehicle and let go for the time being. But when the officers returned back to the station and contacted the GDOT, they discovered that Mackey was a hero operator, but had been terminated from them in January 6 months earlier. He had kept his badge and permits and knew exactly what to say to the officers for them to believe that he was well within his rights to operate his vehicle. But luckily, these cops were too smart to get caught out, and Mackey was arrested for impersonating a police officer 2 days later. If you enjoy true crime videos like this, make sure you're
Bro, maybe offer him a job. How about that? How about that? Maybe offer him a job, okay? I'm sure he'd love to do it. You know, unlike half of these fucking cops. He would love to do it, man. Get these guys a job, bro. Just, you know, just get them a job. Help him out. Help a brother out. I was sex trafficked by girls do porn.